right. Do I have your permission to record this session? Yes, all good. Thank you.
Yeah.
I always do that.
I was gonna say, I don't think you need to. I don't think you need to ask that.
I have to. I don't know. All right, Rami, all yours.
Cool. So we're gonna wait for David Johnson, or we're just gonna.
Actually, he didn't reply to the invitation. Maybe we can thank him.
Why I can't share my screen? There was a problem sharing your screen. Trying
Oh, really?
using another web browser to join this event.
Have no clue. Do you
Huh.
do you have all the permissions enabled?
Yep.
Like the sharing screen? Let me check if I can do that. Share screen, share. Yes, you're seeing what I'm seeing, right?
Okay.
The Figma stuff.
Okay. So when I click choose what to share, the entire screen, then click share. Okay. It's still giving me the same message. Okay. So let's not waste time. So before, we just open the Figma file, the last file, which is on the right, on the left side, there's design critique one. Does anyone has a question? Like, if it, yeah, go ahead, Marcella.
Yes, I have many questions.
Okay.
So what is this? Looks like an exercise, right?
Which one?
The design critique. So because
No.
we have
No. Okay. So basically, I've added those screens, but to have like a fruitful, feedback. So I was thinking that, each one of us have 5 minutes, okay, to go through those screens, and add comments, and then maybe we can discuss like the home screen, and then later on I'm gonna combine, like each comment under one theme, so it would be like helpful, for me, that I can go through, okay, so what was the comments in the home screen, in the menu, in the sidebar, navigation bar, so I can combine this, and then I can prioritize, okay, with Nihal and G, based on those. Make sense?
yes, and the questions will be like, because we will have 5 minutes only. Do you
Yeah.
want us to center in aesthetics, like which aspect, or everything?
Everything,
Or
anything. Maybe you have like a UX question. Maybe someone else has like a UI, or maybe there's something weird in the design. So yeah, so it's open feedback, like nothing, specific, and that's why I've shared earlier, like the first iteration, which is the red, so we can see the whole like improvements where we started and where we are now, and what's need to be delivered this Friday, basically, is the home screen and the events screen, right?
Okay.
And the menu, okay, and the menu, definitely the menu, yeah. So I was thinking, and that's what we used to do, with G, and Nihal, and David, that we spent like 5 minutes, like based on the design sprint principle, which is together alone. So so each one of us just spend 5 minutes, go through it, okay, write down the notes, and then we're gonna, okay, for example, go by Marcella, okay, so you start explaining, okay, your points and why you have these questions, or why you have this, I don't know, ideas, solutions, yeah, whatever. But of course, if anyone think that there's a better way, I'm more than happy to do it.
No, that's fine. We can test it and see how it
Okay.
goes. And actually, I can share my screen just for the design to stay on the recording, but you can do
Sure.
everything in your Figma file.
Okay, so I'll just set the timer. Okay, so one, two, three.
Now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So 5 minutes.
Really?
Does
Oh
anyone
no.
need more time?
Yes. I don't know the rest, but yes. Um, could we have
Okay.
five more?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay. Marcella, do you still need time?
No, that's fine.
Right?
That's fine. I mean, I didn't go through all the screens. I could do this afterwards. I'd have no problem. So we can all together start talking about some screens, and then maybe for next after the meeting, you and I can go through the things that are that we didn't have time to talk
Yeah.
about. Right.
Sure. Okay. So, Brian, I can see you've added your comments
Yeah,
on these.
I didn't see
Yeah.
that we were the names on the top, so I kind of chose the random one here.
No problem. No problem. Okay. So could you please start sharing your feedback on the home screen?
Yeah, so for this
There's
one,
a lot of yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, so for this one, so I saw a lot of red, and I kind of automatically thought for upcoming events. And I know that for like, let's say for upcoming events, there's September 15th. I thought this one was like, coming up pretty recent. I don't know. That was kind of my train of thought. Every time I see that red thing, it seems like something's going to happen pretty soon. And so that's kind of always that happening really soon. And then I noticed that a lot of things have that red. And so that's kind of my train of thought, is that kind of the first thing that I thought of when I saw this was this is upcoming really, really soon, or is it just part of the whole color palette?
I think the red is part of Startup Grind's color palette.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big thing.
Yes. Correct.
Do you think we'll have the functionality where, that'll be, if there's an upcoming event, that'll turn to a different color, or we just kind of leave like that?
Um, okay, we're gonna have like you mean upcoming or like happening now? Like like we
happening
have
now, I think would be the best. Yeah.
happening now. So we're gonna add a label above the cover photo that says that live. Yes, you can find it in one. If you want to check it, you can in iteration 2 tab. Actually, I haven't added here, but I can show it to you later.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So the red, is based, on the color, palette of the client. Like, some clients may use green, blue, and that's the purpose. And the purpose of changing the header, like before we had at Eventus that if the primary color is red, so the whole header, should be red. But after testing it, also having like different cover, photos, it's becoming so distracting and so confusing, like cluttery, so that's why, I've decided maybe, okay, let's the main areas of the app should be like light colors, and highlight like the main actions, like the notification, links, buttons, to be, the client or the brand or the product primary color.
Okay, cool. There's that.
Sorry, and there's still one thing valid about what Brian commented. I mean, even though it is the primary color, maybe we should go over in which parts that is being, like, for example, buttons and links, that's totally fine, but maybe review if it's really necessary. For example, I don't know, in resources title or a category, to have that red, just to not overload things in all the sections with red. Perhaps it's not super necessary. I don't know.
Exactly.
Something to take a look at.
Good point. Yeah, good point. Okay.
And then
here, right.
And then for this one, so like I said, I'm an iPhone user, and so kind of when I go to settings, I automatically assume that the settings will be in the bottom left or be next to where all the options be. So it'll be next to the resources here. And so I found the Bevy, powered by Bevy, kind of weird placements. I don't know, I felt weird there. But that's kind of what my train of thought. Because sometimes I want to go settings quickly, I just swipe and click quickly, just to if I want to edit something.
I felt the same.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, so where do you think we should place powered by?
Oh, sorry. Um, I don't know. I think it makes sense to put it up where the resources up, like up right up here in this section. Because everything's, it's all connected. So I'll make, and I can see the bottom of the section here. I just click that, and this could be on
Maybe,
the bottom. Yeah.
yeah, maybe with a separator like you already have there.
Yeah.
And then settings at the bottom, but not next to the logo, right?
hmm
Why we've added the separator here, because if there is like multiple links, okay, like for example they have, I don't know, food or drink, I don't know what's, the list of the user information. So the settings empowered by area, this area should be fixed, so anything will just scroll under this white area, sorry, yeah, this white uh, bar. Um, okay.
And then I think something else I thought of was that maybe changing the placement. So putting settings all the way at the bottom, and then putting the powered
Yeah.
by Bevy on the top here, or centering the powered by Bevy and not making it too stand out. I don't know. That's personally me. Like I like if I'm in a conference, if I want to change something quickly in my settings, I want to be able to go down click and not have to think about where it's gonna if I'm clicking wrong. But
Okay.
I think that's just nitpick maybe.
Okay.
And then this one, this is just a thought. I don't know. This one I kind of saw the upcoming and past. The past background, I don't know. It feels like it blends. I don't know how it's gonna look like on the phone. If how it's gonna look on the iPhone. But I saw like it blends. Um, but yeah, I think that's just preference, I guess.
Okay.
And I think those are main things for me. I think that's pretty much it for me.
Okay. Thank you, Brian.
Mhm.
Marcella.
Okay. I mostly based on functionality and what info we're showing. So the first thing, if we're thinking about showing, I don't know if this was the chapter title or the location of the person. Maybe it was the location of the person, but just to make sure, whenever we show chapter titles, those can be super long, because it's not only the city, but a group can have a super long name, just to have that in mind. But if this is the location of the person, that's just fine.
Yes. Yes, it's the location. Yeah.
Okay. And well, that will be another thing to review, because I don't know how important that is to me where I am from, because I already know, like, I'm from Melbourne, but that's another thing that we can check. Then resources. What would be this information like?
Oh, okay.
Blog
So you're asking
posts?
me a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's articles and blogs. Yeah, but it's
Oh,
not in our first or second release. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but as far as I understood from G, that there's some communities, chapters. They also share resources like
Uh-huh.
Asana, like Slack. So I thought
Uh-huh.
we could include it somehow. But again, it's not with us, in the first or second release.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking right now, like, where all the info is coming from, and we don't have anything like this yet in the platform. Just blog post, if anything. But
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah. It's blog posts mostly. Yeah.
okay, okay, good. Well, the same comment that Brian did, like it felt like the footer was mixed up with the settings. So just if it's a separator with more space, or the settings, yeah, was felt a little bit weird that it was next to the Bioware by Baby. I don't know.
Okay.
Then here, I don't know if we are for V1, if we're just going to be showing upcoming and past, because Ernesto was working with a ticket, but this is different, to showcase not only upcoming, but showing upcoming, current, and past events with, like 3 filters. And actually, there is a work that he's been doing, but this is, we didn't implement any of this. But oh, sorry, am I coming through okay? Because my connection is not okay. Thanks.
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah.
And let me share my screen just real quick so I can show this. Like this is some,
yeah.
see, this is something that we were exploring, that we don't have anything, but
We have
like
it in yes, we
sorry?
have it in Eventus. Yes, we
Uh-huh.
have it. Okay, in Eventus, like happening now. That an upcoming, and and the past.
Okay,
Um,
great.
but since G said that we show only upcoming and past, but also I'm still challenging them regarding the past events. Why do we need to show past events? Okay, so that's a debate that's going on, with Nihal, and G, and still there is no final decision or answer, because like, what's the value to showing, okay, the past events? If I am in a chapter, yes, okay, I need to see, okay, the past events, because it could show, okay, like any member or any new member the value of the chapter, and this chapter is active and all the stuff. But if it's just like Celta Grind Global Conference 2019 or 2020, why should I see
Depend.
it?
I
Yeah,
can think of something.
sure.
Depending on the filtering that you have here, for example, if the events are showing according to your location, let's say, so I would see past events in Buenos Aires, which I would be interested in, because, oh, what, like last week, or what was, so, but again, depending on the purpose of the app, what are we showing, like, but this was thought for, the homepage of the baby platform, and it is a different use case, for sure. But that would be one reason, like past events within something that I'm interested in,
Yeah, yeah.
that's the only
We
thing.
are we getting
I
are we getting any data?
Sorry.
Are we getting any data on how often past events are actually being visited within our platform?
That
Because
would be
personally,
interesting to know.
I agree with Rami that I think the only initial value of showing past events is just to show that the chapter is active.
Yeah.
Showing, hey, this chapter is having 20 events per month. That's pretty active, or something like that. But me personally, as a user, like, I don't think I would ever click on a past event like that,
Yeah.
because it's already passed. Like, so why would I be interested in it? But,
Well,
Yeah.
another thing it would be to see the recordings. If it was a webinar and I missed it, I want to see, okay, like, the Figma stuff. Like, I would like to check that.
Or if it's an event that costs money, you can reference a past event and what was there to know if it's like worthwhile to attend in the future, if it's something that's like annual or whatever.
Oh, okay. So, Carly, you mean that you've attended this event and you want to come back again
Or
to
if
see
you
it?
haven't
Oh,
attended this event and you're thinking about, if it's a recurring event and you're considering attending the next one and it costs
yeah.
money, I might go look like, okay, who was there last year? What were the topics last year? And see if I feel like it's worth spending the money.
Agree.
Okay. So my question would be, okay, so this proposition or this idea would fit a community app or a conference app?
I guess that could be more conference.
Yeah.
But that's true. That for that use case, I would say conference. But I also do think that it is really valuable to see how active a chapter is for community.
Yes. Yes. Okay, cool.
Okay, something to think about and discuss with Nihal. Then small details like just showing the year. Maybe since it's an upcoming event, don't show the year and add the time, but that's something that it's a detail.
I think that one could highly depend, because some events. I mean, I don't know what the track record with our events are typically, but for example, I attend events that are planned a year in advance. So like I have tickets right now for events in 2022. So,
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Nothing.
Okay, but question here: do you think that time is important to be surfaced in the whole listing, not inside in the in the event information?
Well, I think it is.
Maybe for live, but I think for upcoming, you can click on the description to get the time. Personally, if you're interested enough to know what time it starts, you're gonna click on it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my opinion, because it can just get cluttered really easily on the main screen.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think for that screen, the amount of information that's on there, I think is enough currently.
Okay. Done. Just checking in terms of how this will be built. Is this like a merged image, or is this actual copy with image?
No, it's a flat image that has been uploaded. Yeah, in the dashboard.
Awesome. Then this info that it's here, what it says, Meetup, Fireside Chat, that's the event type, right? But here you have an address. So what is?
Okay. So Fox Theater, is the in person. So we have like a virtual event, we have in person, we have fireside chat, we have meetups, we have virtual conference and virtual event. Those are the types that G told me about. So he said also that we need to surface it outside, in the list of events. Those are the lists.
So I'm thinking about, because maybe the event type per se is not that useful, especially like when it's fireside chat, or I don't know, maybe it's would be more useful to know if it's rather in person, virtual, hybrid, and like versus the event type. And here I'm thinking about, it's useful that you have the address, but let's say that this conference is also virtual and you can attend both. So perhaps it is better to say hybrid or in person and virtual rather than just the address and this for all.
That's a good point. Do you have an example, in the Bevy web? Because I think
actually,
right?
let me share my screen, because we are.
Because he has sent me today an example of the hybrid UI.
Yeah.
That Ernesto.
Yeah, this one.
Okay.
We have
Virtual,
new
in
chips.
person.
Yeah, and well, this is the agenda, so you'll have another stage, but we can use virtual and in person in your example.
Yeah, but there's another screen. One second.
Let's
Okay, so if you
see.
can, yeah, in the community.
Yes.
Where it is? Sorry. Area. Okay. So the virtual in person. So virtual. So anything like conference, anything virtual. Okay. So what about like meetup? It will fall under what?
That would be a different category. Meetup, you mean when it's virtual, virtual, and not a conference, right?
Yeah.
Or and that would be a different category. We could add that, but then you will be showing two things: the event type and if it's in person or virtual.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
And that is valid as well. We can check the different options, but I will definitely have the same criteria for all the cards.
Yeah.
Rather, okay.
Yeah.
Then I think that's it. Yeah, no, yeah, I was asking the options for the filters right
Yeah.
at the top.
If you go to iteration 2 in the events, you can filter by tags and by type.
Oh, right. Okay. Thank you.
No
And
problem.
that's it on my side.
Thank you, Marcella. Carly?
Where's mine? Nope. Okay. So I was kind of hoping DJ would be here because I think he said he's been working on this, but I was wondering in general if we have a strategy for including the design system components in the mobile app and vice versa, like adding the ones that are specific to mobile to the design system, or are we treating them as separate for now? And I put that on the home screen, but that's kind of general questions for all of the screens because I think that would affect a lot of my comments. Like, for example, Marcella was saying earlier that we can go through here and like decide what would be the primary color. Maybe not everything has to be the primary color. But like a lot of that stuff is already built into the separative components. So I think if we were using them, that would help like determine which parts get the primary color, for example. But that's just one example. Just I'm wondering in general if you know about that or if I should ask DJ.
Okay. So regarding design system in general, so I'm gonna talk in general now. Yeah, we're gonna follow the iOS guidelines.
Okay.
Yeah, like the buttons, are rounded. Like the segmented controls. The cards are like 10 pixels round. Yeah. So that we're gonna follow as a shapes, but as a design system, I mean like date, headline, body. No, we haven't discussed this yet.
Okay. Okay, so I guess I can talk to DJ about that
Okay.
also because he said I don't know where he's at with that. He said he's like been working on it, so I don't know. I think a lot of my questions are kind of related to that. Like I was wondering if these icons in the menu are like if those are supposed to be buttons or if those are just decorative shapes. But that's also related to
Not
the design
buttons.
system. They're not
No.
buttons. Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
like stuff like that is just like is related to the design system. Like, do we want to add these variations so we have them to use everywhere, or do we want to keep them consistent and make sure we're only using the styles in the design system? I'm not really sure about that, but I was wondering. So these on the next one, the upcoming and past toggle, for example, and everywhere we have like toggles like this.
Yeah.
I really like the way those look. I know this was something that Ernesto was working on a ticket to change them in Bevy because they're very difficult to translate. Like the text gets longer really easily and goes outside the space. So I was wondering if we have a plan to localize those or if we need some other shape of component to have those filters. Or is localization
Uh,
not going to be in version 1 of the app?
I'm not sure about version one, but
Mhm.
I'm gonna have a meeting today, like after 1 hour, okay, with Adriana,
Okay.
to go through the designs. Like when I started working on this project, like in each component, I've added like like Arabic,
Mhm.
French, German, Dutch, Turkish, just to to see yeah, like different language we're gonna work or not.
Mhm.
But this is considered in my design. But again, I need to meet with Adriana because she has more experience in this. Like I haven't worked before, honestly, in different languages, so maybe
Okay.
she has different views,
Yeah.
or maybe solutions. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's just one example, but I can see Marcella's pointing to the tiny labels. Like that would be another place where we would have to consider longer text.
Yeah.
But okay, so you're going to talk to Adriana. Places where like this active state is indicated with only color.
Yeah.
I think it's fine to use the color there, but there needs to be something else too, so that um, people with color blindness can still tell that it's active. I think either
Okay.
like having some kind of container with the icon reversed out, so it's different, even if the whole thing was like in shades of gray, or choosing a color where the contrast ratio is significantly higher than the rest of them or something like that so that it
Yeah.
looks different even without the color. Um, the social icons, I wrote this down, but like I just had the same question as the icons in the menu. Do we want to consider styles that have an enclosure or do we want to stick just with the styles that are in the design system? But yeah, that's a bigger question about the design system. And then I think I just had, I put a general note to check the contrast around the screens. I think I noticed on this one, like the partner and upfront ventures does not pass contrast check on the gray background. And I'm not
So
sure
which
about some of
one?
I'm on the over here.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah. And then I'm not sure about some of the lighter text on the lighter gray text on white. So just to like make sure all of the different elements pass the contrast checks.
yeah.
And I was wondering on this one, what do the colored dots mean? Is that the event type? I just
Um. Okay. So we had it. Sorry.
oh, sorry, my screen jumped. Okay, I got
Uh,
it back.
okay, so we have it previously, and so those um, are indicators for the tracks.
Okay.
So, but I need actually, you reminded me that I need to ask if still we have this in this like, does Bevy shows tracks or not? Because this is the agenda that
Mhm.
before you register, so that's before, so that's not the conference or the virtual experience. This is,
Mhm.
I want to view the agenda, to be able to decide.
Mhm.
So also I need to consider even if the attendee is allowed to add to agenda or not, because this functionality is not working. It's not got here. Like if I'm viewing an agenda, I cannot add it because I haven't joined yet. So
Okay. I think if it's really important information, a label might be better again because
yes,
they're yes. So just instead of the colors, but if it's not important, maybe we don't even need it.
yes, yes, I agree.
Okay. My next question, that was the same as Marcella with where if the text is an image or not. So yeah, I think that's all I have.
Great. I think we've passed our time. Like, we're still on time. Okay.
Wait, no, we passed our time, but I can stay around for
Yeah.
host revision.
Quick. Mine was mostly just a few visual things and mostly just questions. Let's see, on the home screen, my only thought here is that it feels very busy. Obviously, all the functionality makes sense. I'm just my initial thought was I would maybe see if we can explore a way to just kind of break up the different sections maybe a little bit, whether it's just maybe additional spacing or anything like that. But I could be completely wrong on that as well. That was just kind of my initial thought when I first saw it. Let's see, other thing, another thought for this page, and this is something that I mean, like this is really just something more of an assumption. And looking into just some other ticketing apps, I noticed that not many people were doing this, but I was just curious if it was explored, if there is any value in adding like a shortcut to RSVP from this page, so you don't have to click into the event itself. Like, say for example, you already knew you were going to attend a specific event, it was just save your screen. But again, that was just kind of an assumption and just a thought. So not much research into that, obviously, from my end.
Okay, so may I answer? Okay,
Yeah.
your point. We've designed okay, one sample before. This was like 2 years ago. Okay, we join now or join. And people felt it. It's so repetitive, like join, 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 join. So I need, to see the event and then decide. So why you're pushing me or why you're forcing me to do an action here? This was tested with 7 people only. To be honest, it's not like 20 or hundreds, but the 7 people, I believe, it's good enough. Yeah.
That's a very good point, and one that I didn't think about was the repetition. So that's a good point for sure.
Mm.
And like I said, I quickly looked at some different ticket apps, and I noticed none of them are doing it either. So I think there's probably some truth to that, definitely. Let's see, on the event page, I was just curious, and maybe the hero banner area up at the top, if that should maybe just be a bit larger, just to give a little bit more visual appeal to the event page. It does
I
seem a
totally
bit
agree with you. Okay,
but
but the
everybody else
current
did
one, no. But I mean, like because since so this cover photo will be uploaded from a dashboard. I believe the width is like 2,565. So I just scale it down to fit 375 pixels. Yeah, unless we
Oh,
need
so
to change
this is
this a dashboard. Yeah.
this is using the same hero images as the current dashboard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rami, that we have two images for the event. We have one banner and one event thumbnail, which is square.
Yes.
So, okay.
I
So,
think so. My thought right now is that this is obviously not possible currently, but obviously we need to include a mobile specific images and not rely on the
Yes.
desktop images.
Yes.
But yeah, okay.
propose that, Rami, and maybe it's not a hard thing to do. Not sure.
But this will affect also the Android because we had it before. In the branded apps, we requested, okay, from the event organizers, like a specific size, for the cover photo for the iOS, another size, okay, for the Android. So I don't know if this will be like a double work, okay, for them, and some clients actually complained. So just send us one size that's gonna fit, okay, for the Android and the iOS. Yes, I agree with you all. And also I believe that Ernesto have raised this like 2 months ago, I guess, that that this cover photo will look very small on the mobile. Um, yeah, but for now, like I don't know.
It's
Um,
also another
yeah, go ahead.
another another reason why we should have mobile images is because our standard banner images right now, we we overlay text over them on the website. And
Yeah.
for mobile, obviously, the image has to be a flat image.
Yes.
So, so the image that most people might use on mobile won't really make sense on here because they won't have any text on it or anything. So that's another use case for that.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's a very good point,
But
because I've
yeah, I
seen
think
like
that's
just
something to
flat, yeah.
definitely. I mean, I think as we obviously there's a lot of changes that are required that are going to be required to the dashboard. But like, I mean, a lot of these options are going to need to be added at some point in the future, I feel like.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a question here, okay, for everyone. Do you think we should add above, okay, the cover photo like a thumbnail or the squared logo, like LinkedIn events? Do you know what I mean? Like if we can add like a box here, if you can't see my Figma.
And are you thinking like a box above the title or push the title to the side?
No, above the title.
With what, the logo of the company or what?
Yeah. Yeah. So in case if they don't have like a cover photo, okay. So now we have North America Summit. Okay, but let's take an example. If there's another event that doesn't have a cover photo, and they're using the default cover photo that has been uploaded, maybe I don't know. I'm just thinking. Maybe it's not the right solution for this.
I think I'd need to maybe see the design to really think of it, to really see if it's
Yeah.
if it's doable or not, or if it's the right solution.
Okay.
I'm just trying to see real quick. Well,
I think we would try to patch something that it should be a bigger image.
yeah, I don't think the event thumbnail isn't a good substitute though, because the event thumbnail most people just use a lot of times just like a little icon or something like that. Also,
Yeah.
it doesn't really make much sense. But
yeah,
I mean, unless we were able to like maybe, I mean, I don't know how this would be automated, but if we were able to crop the original banner image and use that so that it doesn't have to have that really long aspect ratio. But I don't know if there would be an automated way to do that, and we definitely shouldn't be doing that manually. But
I don't know, but at events we do it manually, and sometimes if the client just send us, a flat, image like PNG, they haven't considered on the site. Like sometimes they have, like the full address, and the date. It can be touched, the borders. So if I scale it, it's gone. Yeah. So I'm trying just to avoid all these scenarios that we've been through.
well,
It's
no, definitely.
painful.
I mean, I think for what we have right now, I think this is the best solution, even though the image is kind of small. Because really, in my opinion, the only way to really solve this is to have a different image for mobile with different requirements.
Yes. Yes.
Because for mobile, we can absolutely say, hey, yeah, put text on here if you want, because it's not going to resize really. But on desktop currently, we try to keep clients from adding text, because exactly what you said, they say, hey, well, the screen got smaller, and like now my text is cut off. I'm just like,
yeah.
Right. You wouldn't, like, you have it here, you wouldn't, it wouldn't be like this. For example, in this finding product market fit, blah, 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 you will only have the background image. I mean, because we, like Rojo said, we encourage people not to add text to the banner because it's dynamic.
Yeah.
So definitely it's a different use case. You wouldn't have this copy at all.
So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's probably not a quick solution, obviously, for now, but it's one that I think we definitely need to implement in the near future for sure. Okay, and then I think the only other thing that I had was for the agenda. I noticed here, and I know you mentioned some of this is maybe still kind of being worked on a bit, but I noticed that like we have a check mark for like the 931. So I was just curious if there's a way to filter or just view your agenda items that maybe you signed up for. And then also I just had a question about the dots, the same one that Cardi asked, so that already got addressed. But
okay. Okay. So my agenda will not be included here because this is still the scenario that before you register for the event. Yeah. So once you register, you're gonna have the full agenda, like agenda, my agenda. You can add. You can. Yeah. But in this scenario, we just so it's my mistake that that I've added here, like add to my agenda. No.
I'm trying to think how we have it on desktop, because on desktop I think it's the same, right? Like you can't add it until you sign up. So
yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone wants to add any comments?
Well, the first thing that I would try to find out with DJ is the design system question. That will be the main one, and then the rest we can figure out.
Yeah.
But this is great, Rami.
Thank you. Thank you everyone. For your feedback, for your input. It's so valuable. And please feel free anytime just to jump on Figma and just go check. Just add your comments and feedback. Keep pushing. Yeah.
Yeah, and let us know if there's anything like the results with your meeting with Adriana. If there's anything you need to change, we can give you a hand, of course, if you need to modify anything.
Okay. Sure, awesome. Sure, I will do that. All right, thank you so much again. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Take care.
See ya. Thank you.
Bye.